Hello, and welcome back to Old Charles. I'm your host, Alex. If you've been coin roll hunting for any amount of time, you've almost certainly found one of these, the 1974 Kennedy half dollar. For most collectors, it's a filler coin, something you pick up for pocket change to complete a date set. It's not rare, it's not made of silver, and at first glance, it seems, well, a bit boring, but I'm here to tell you that every coin has a story. The 1974 half dollar is a time capsule from a pivotal moment in American history and numismatics. It's the story of a nation moving on from silver, a tribute to a fallen president, and a coin with a surprising what-if factor. So, let's flip this common coin over and look at the rich history on its other side. To understand the 1974 half dollar, we have to go back a decade. 1963, President John F. Kennedy is assassinated. The nation is in mourning. Almost immediately, there's a public and governmental push to honor him on a coin. The half dollar, replacing the beloved Benjamin Franklin design, was the obvious choice. The 1964 Kennedy half dollar was a sensation. But there was a catch. It was minted in 90% silver. And in the mid-1960s, the price of silver was rising. People began hoarding these beautiful new coins not just as memorials, but for their intrinsic metal value. They were literally melting out of circulation. So, the U.S. Mint had to act. In 1965, they removed the silver from the dime and quarter, making them copper-nickel clad coins. But for the half dollar, they compromised. From 1965 to 1970, the Kennedy half was made of 40% silver. It was a last vestige of the silver coinage era. But by the early 1970s, even that compromise was untenable. The Coinage Act of 1965 had set the stage, and in 1971, the half dollar, like its smaller cousins, became a copper-nickel clad coin with no silver content at all. Which brings us to our star, the 1974. By this point, it was firmly a modern base metal coin. The transition was complete. The obverse, designed by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts, features the portrait of JFK facing left. The inscriptions are, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1974, at the bottom. Roberts' initials, GR, are neatly tucked into the cutoff of the bust. The reverse, designed by assistant engraver Frank Gasparo, showcases the presidential seal. You have the heraldic eagle with a shield on its breast, clutching an olive branch and arrows, with 13 stars above its head. The inscriptions are United States of America, E pluribus unum, and half dollar. Gasparo's initials, FG, are right there, to the right of the eagle's tail feathers, composition **** outer layers of 75% copper, 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. That's cupronickel clad, weight **** 11.34 grams diameter *** 30.6 millimeters edge *** reeded, with 150 reeds. The easiest way to tell a silver half from a clad one, besides the date, is the edge. A silver coin has a solid, uniform silver color on the edge. A clad coin, like our 1974, has a visible brown copper stripe sandwiched in the middle. That's the dead giveaway. That's right, over 280 million coins. The Philadelphia issue is the workhorse, making up the vast majority of what you'll find. The Denver mintage is significantly lower, making the 1974 D arguably a bit more interesting, though still very common. But the real story is the San Francisco Mint. In 1974, the San Francisco Mint was transitioning to almost exclusively producing proof coins for collectors. But they still struck a small number of business strike coins, coins intended for circulation, marked with the S. These 2.6 million 1974 S halves are the scarcest of the regular issue 1974 S. But this leads us to the great, no S, mystery. There are a handful of 1974 half dollars confirmed to have been struck at the San Francisco Mint but are missing the S mint mark. These are incredible rarities, with only a few known to exist. They are believed to result of a worn or broken obverse die where the mint mark punch had failed to impress properly. If you ever find a 1974 half with no mint mark that looks a little different, get it authenticated immediately. Speaking of proofs, the San Francisco Mint also produced beautiful 1974 S-proof coins in their signature frosted finish. These were sold directly to collectors in sets and are a gorgeous, albeit common, version of the coin. For a regular, circulated 1974 P or 1974 D half dollar, the value is, face value, 50 cents. They are extremely common in circulated condition. In uncirculated, mint state condition, you might be looking at a value of $1 to $3, primarily for the Denver issue, as it's a bit scarcer in top grades. The 1974 S circulation strike is a bit more interesting. In uncirculated condition, it can bring $5 to $15, and sometimes more, because while 2.6 million is a lot, most were spent and worn down. A gem uncirculated example is a nice find. The 1974 S proof is a different story. A standard proof in its original packaging is worth about $5 to $10. They are beautiful coins and a very affordable way to own a pristine example. Point 1. For a beginner asterisk, it's a perfect, low-cost coin to complete your Kennedy half-dollar date set. Point 2. For an advanced collector asterisk, the hunt is for high-grade examples, especially of the 1974 D and 1974 S business strikes. Look for full bell lines on the reverse, sharp strikes, and brilliant luster. Point 3. For the dreamer asterisk, always check your 1974 halves for that missing S mint mark. It's a 1 in a billion shot, but that's what makes the hunt fun, so, there you have it. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar. On the surface, it's just a common, base metal coin. But when you look deeper, it represents the final step in America's move away from silver coinage. It's a tribute that endured beyond a national tragedy. It has its own mint mark mysteries and a place in the collection of nearly every American coin enthusiast. That it may not be the star of the show, but it's a crucial supporting actor in the great story of U.S. coinage. It reminds us that history isn't always made of gold and silver, sometimes, it's made of copper and nickel, and it's waiting in a jar of change for you to discover its story. George Washington established crucial precedents for the office. John Adams navigated quasi-war with France. Thomas Jefferson doubled the nation's size with the Louisiana Purchase, 1803, from France. War of 1812 fought against Britain over trade restrictions and impressment of American sailors. It solidified U.S. independence and fostered nationalism. Manifest Destiny the belief that the U.S. was destined to expand across the continent. This led to annexation of Texas, 1845. The Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, resulting in the U.S. acquiring the vast Mexican Cession, California, Southwest. The Oregon Treaty with Britain, 1846. The Industrial Revolution began in the North, while the South's Cotton Kingdom became increasingly dependent on enslaved labor. The nation's fundamental conflict over slavery erupted into war. The peculiar institution the moral and economic divide between the free North and the slaveholding South deepened. Failed compromises the Missouri Compromise, 1820, Compromise of 1850, and Kansas-Nebraska Act, 1854, failed to resolve the slavery issue. Permanently, the abolitionist movement grew, and the 1852 novel Uncle Tom's Cabin galvanized anti-slavery sentiment in the North. The election of 1860 the victory of Abraham Lincoln, who opposed the expansion of slavery, prompted Southern states to secede, forming the Confederate States of America. The Civil War, 1861 to 1865, a devastating conflict that claimed over 600,000 lives. Key turning points included the Battle of Gettysburg, 1863, and General William T. Sherman's March to the Sea. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, 1863, transformed the war's purpose to include ending slavery. The Union victory preserved the nation and led to the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery. 1865, the nation struggled to reunite and was transformed by industry, Reconstruction, 1865 to 1877 ***. The effort to rebuild the South and integrate freed slaves into society. The 14th, citizenship, equal protection, and 15th, voting rights, amendments were passed. However, the end of Reconstruction in 1877 led to the rise of Jim Crow laws enforcing racial segregation in the South, the Gilded Age ***, a period of rapid industrialization, immigration, and the rise of colossal fortunes for robber barons, like Rockefeller and Carnegie. This era was marked by technological innovation but also by political corruption, labor unrest, and vast economic inequality. The U.S. became a global power and endured economic catastrophe and World War. A wave of reforms aimed at curbing corporate power, improving living conditions, and expanding democracy, e.g., women's suffrage via the 19th Amendment in 1920, Spanish-American War, 1898, ***, made the U.S. a colonial power with territories like Puerto Rico and the Philippines. The U.S. initially remained neutral but entered the war in 1917, helping to ensure Allied victory. A decade of economic prosperity, cultural dynamism, jazz age, and social change, followed by. Triggered by the stock market crash of 1929, it caused widespread unemployment and poverty. President Franklin D. Roosevelt's sweeping government programs provided relief, recovery, and reform. The U.S. entered the war after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, 1941. American industrial might and military power were decisive in defeating the Axis powers. The war ended with the U.S. using atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.